All right, welcome guys. So we are going to go through your demos. I'm going to take us through the demo since Aristos is not here, and then we'll do retrospectives, and then we'll go through the last issue. So who wants to go first? Any team can go. One person will show us the functionality, the other person will walk us through the code so that all of us will get to participate.
We can go first if Rachel's okay with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. Okay. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So let me clear this and start. Okay, for last week we are supposed to work on a feature that would help our users to know how soon they want to purchase an item. So the user would, for instance, I want to start from this. Once a user comes into the app, and if they already have a token, they'll insert it, but then if they don't, so I'll just go here to add an item and create a new set of items. I'll call this soon. Kinda soon. For this, kind of not soon. Okay, maybe I'll roll over. Soon. Okay. Yes. Okay. Fine. So, okay, I'll go to the list to view. This is how soon I need this. So when I click on this, it pops up. So one of the feature we created was for it to arrange it alphabetically. So when you click on it, it will go up to the top of the item of how soon. So I think I need to go to the Firebase, I don't know, to manipulate it so that we can get the gray element and the other one that is not supposed to. Like, it's just Firebase. Okay, I'm supposed to click on Firestore. Let me look at the breaks. Okay, stick wheel. Let's see. So these are the items I just added. So for this one that is soon, I would change it to 70, let's say 61 days. So it will be an inactive. For like 61 days, so it will be inactive. So it pops up to this kind of soon. So it shows that you will need the items very soon. So this is just the UI. Cluster will show the code. I don't know if anyone has any questions concerning the UI.
I'm just wondering how you were able to add kind of soon 2 times.
Oh yeah. I think we saw that bug. We saw the bug when we were working on this issue. It was supposed to be, we are not supposed to be able to add the same item or duplicate item. So, but then we noticed this bug. That a user can be able to add the same name of item again. Though it's an issue that was that me and Victor worked on the previous week, and it was working. So I really don't know what happened. So when we pulled from the main, we realized that someone can be able to add the same name of item again. So if I try to add soon again, let me see. See, it's still showing. So I think it's something we have to look at because that particular one isn't working anymore.
All right.
I think we had this issue last week.
Yeah,
and I thought it was solved, right? It was
so
building. It was because of
no,
deploying.
so during the call, I don't think we resolved it during the call, but later after the call, I think the following day, Clesta said she's able to see the feature now on the hosted link, right?
I saw other updates, but no, that bug is still there. I just saw other updates, like me and Mita's, yeah, but I still couldn't see theirs. I tested it. I went on their branch and it works, but then on the main branch, for some reason, it doesn't work.
That's weird.
Very weird. All right. We can see the code for the meantime.
Okay, so everyone can see my screen. All right. Okay, so first I'm just going to show the code that we use to sort. So it's like a custom sort function. So this is it right here, the compare purchase urgency. So first so we're using the current estimate to sort the list by, so that's how many days we have until the next purchase. So first we sort by current estimate, and then within that we then sort by name, alphabetical order. So if you have 1 day until the next purchase, you'll see A, B, C, D. And then if you have 2 days till purchase, then it starts again A, B, C, D, and so on and so forth. So we took the custom function and we modified this function, the filtered items. So I included the sort function, and we use the compare purchase urgency in order to sort the list first and then to filter it. So those are the only changes that we made in the list JSX file. And then in the list item component, we decided to make the changes for the text color and also the ARIA label So here we wrote the function get text color. So if an item's current estimate is less than or equal to 7, then make that color red. If it's more than 7, higher than 7, but less than and equal to 30, sort it and make it look green. If it's higher than 30, but less than or 60 or less than between 30 and or 31 rather until 60, make it blue. And if it's higher than 60 days, make it gray. So we took the function get text color and we included into the style for the for each list item. And we also did the get aria function where it's basically the same logic. If it's soon or less than 7 or equal to 7, return the word soon. So for the aria label, and also the same logic if it's higher than 7 or 30 or less than 30, then kind of soon. If it's between 30 and 60 or 31 and 60, it'll be not so soon. And if it's over 60, it will be inactive. So we took the get aria function and we're using it under aria label. And we're also using it next to the item name. That way we can see it on the list and not just rely on by color and aria label. And I believe those are the only changes. If there's any questions.
No, there are no questions from me. It works really well. Well done, Tim. Yeah,
I have just one. I wonder if you should show the soon and beside the item. Was it acceptance criteria to do that?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah. Just like the part where you are showing the soon beside the item.
Yes.
Was it part of the acceptance criteria? I wonder.
Yeah, so it was initially I thought it was referring to the aria label, but looking at it closely, it said that you could just, maybe I'll see if I can find it. You could just add a soon kind of soon. I mean, it doesn't look like the best as UI, but it does mention it there. I'm just gonna share this real quick. Here. Okay, so I'm assuming everyone can see my screen. So it's here. It says it's tempting to use colors to indicate how soon the user should buy an item, but if you only use color, a colorblind user won't be able to tell the difference. So I thought they were referring to aria label, but it did say here, with these constraints, it's probably best to render plain text like soon, kind of soon, in order to show urgency. You can still use color alongside the text.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it should be only for aria label. Okay.
That's what I thought too. Yeah. There was like that one line right here. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. It's working great. Great job, Rachel and Clefta.
Okay, hi everyone. So
Hi, Mide.
our task was to create a delete button that deletes an item from the shopping list. And so I'll be sharing my screen to walk you through. Okay. So I hope you all can see my screen. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so we have this our list, and then we have the delete button right in front of it. So if I click on delete, it should actually give us a confirmation confirm whether we want to delete it. Do you want to delete 3? And if we say okay, it goes off the list and it's off the database. And so if I come here and I delete this, do you want to delete phone? And if I say okay, it takes it off. So that was what we're asked to do, and this is what we implemented. So do you have any questions?
I have no question. I just if you can add an existing item just to check for that bug if it's for everyone or.
Oh, okay. So let's see, what item do we have? We have ball. So let's add ball. Well, yes.
Okay.
There's a ball.
Yeah, it's persistent. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll stop sharing so that Victor can walk you through the code. Victor, over to you.
Victor, if you are talking, we can't hear you.
I think he's muted.
Victor, you are muted. We can't hear you.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Victor. We can hear you now.
Hi.
Okay, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so our issue this week was to handle the delete functionality of the items from the list. So in the firebase.js file, we were to implement the delete item function, which is an async function that is exported from the firebase.js. So the delete item function takes in a list ID, which is the token, and an ID which specifies the specific item to be deleted. So as per the Firebase docs, we create a reference to the document that is to be deleted, which is passed, which takes the doc function from Firebase, and it takes the DB list ID and ID arguments and returns the delete document from Firebase, which takes in the reference. So the implementation in the JSX is in the list item.jsx file. We added a button here which has the text delete and an on-click functionality which takes the handle delete function. And the list token and the item.id are passed as arguments. Okay, so the handle delete function is implemented up here. It's an async function which takes the parameters, the list token and the ID. So after taking, okay, the first part of the function confirms whether the user wants to delete the item. If the user selects okay, is confirmed variable is assigned to true. And if it's true, you run the await delete item, which is imported from firebase.js, which takes a list token and an ID. It's an async function, and when it runs, the item is deleted from the list view. So that was the code. I don't know if anyone has a question. Any questions?
For me,
No.
everything is clear.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty clear and it works well too. Well done.
All right, all right.
All right. There are no questions from the Collabies, right? So we can move over to Rachel. All right. All right. So Rada, you can do the retro now.
So we will move now to retro. We will give about 10 minutes for people to write. I see that most of you has already did that. So anyway, we will like give about 10 minutes and we will get back to read what we wrote. Still 10 minutes still running, but if you're all like finished, we can move on. Just use a thumb up if you're done. Okay, we will give more time, 3 minutes. All right, I think we are good to go. And let's start our first.
Okay, so appreciations. I really appreciate my pair programming Collabies the last 2 weeks. Nita for being patient with me when I was sick. Rachel for the frequent good communication we needed this week. And also thanks to all the mentors for helping us this week.
Yeah, sorry, give me just 1 second. I forgot to share my screen.
Yeah, I wanted to type in the chat to remind you.
Yeah. I just. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, Midi.
Okay, so these last 2 weeks has been filled with fun and learning. Clesta and Victor were fantastic and super helpful. I want to say a big thank you to all the mentors for the help and intervention at all times.
Okay, my appreciation goes to my pair programming mates for the last 2 weeks. Victor and Cresta, it was great having to work with you. Thanks to the mentors who came through for us. Sure.
Shamaka.
Yeah, so super shout out to everybody. These past 2 weeks, as usual, we all worked really hard and came together. And then, as usual, also we delivered on the tasks we were supposed to do. So shout out to everyone.
And I appreciate the time and effort Collabies put into finishing their tasks on time. And I will also thank the mentor for helping reviewing the Collabies PRs when I couldn't. And Victor.
The last 3 weeks were awesome. Handled their programming sessions smoothly. Enjoyed them a lot. It's been a great learning experience for me.
Okay, what went well? And Clesta.
I think code review, the other pair spotted a couple of things to improve the code.
Okay,
Midi.
the fact that we were able to solve technical problems, there was a solid support structure.
We were able to easily work on the issue that first seemed difficult, and the other pair did great in the code review.
For me, the ACs were met, and then also I noticed that in the area of reaching out on time and then asking questions, the Collab is really improved in that area. they were able to reach out on time, and then we would all solve any blockers together. So yeah, that went well.
Okay, the way the Collabies demo their code and the app on production has really improved. Because I used screenshots. That was amazing. Also, Rachel this week she used like significant names for us to easily understand what's going on. And besides that, they improved their question structure and when they should ask, as Shamaka said. Okay, so what could have gone better? Maybe everything was cool.
Yes, I think everything was cool.
Yeah, you said
So
all.
yeah, so I have just a little something for that column. So I just think that we could improve in the area of debugging, and then also in the area of code review. But aside, I think I've not really done the troubleshooting, but I think probably the Firebase deployment situation is also adding to some inconsistencies we are having. But aside that, I think probably code review and then debugging, we could improve in that area. And of course, since we are just 2 weeks to the end, probably when we get our tech jobs and then when we start working, full time, so that when a developer is trusting you to really go through their code, you're able to do it closely and then help them to improve. Because at the end of the day, it's still a learning experience for everybody, both those that wrote the code and those that are doing the review. It's a learning process for everyone involved. So yeah, that's it for me.
All right, I put it in action points.
Thank you.
And that's it. You were all amazing these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, very, very amazing. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I think if we're able to like always hit our targets and then learn in the process, I mean, that's why we're here, put everything you've been learning into practice, and you're able to produce features, demo your features, understand how stuff works. I think we're not wasting our time here. So yeah, we're moving forward and it's really making sense. So shout out to everyone. So far, so good. So we're going to go through the last issue for the cohorts, which is really styling and then refactoring, as I said before. So issue 13 says, as a user, I want the app to look professional and welcoming. So the last 2 weeks of this project will function a little differently than the rest. Your team will self-organize around a lightweight design process to come up with polished look and feel for your app. This will require you to make decisions together as a team. So no more pairing, you're working together, then implement what you come up with. The process outlined here is our best suggestion for how to proceed, but you're free to take whatever approach you see fit. So you will notice that this is the last issue on the board. That's because the expectation is for you to write the stories needed to complete the implementation. So you're going to create your own stories. By the time you're done meeting and then you've done delegation of tasks among yourselves, then you come back to GitHub and then open your own task so that it will be easy to connect it to PR. It's easy for somebody reviewing your code to know what you're working on, how to proceed from there. As always, lean on your mentors for guidance if you're unsure of how to proceed. So the design process, our suggestion, firstly, what is the tone you're going for? What feeling are you trying to convey? Come up with 3 to 5 words that best capture how you want users to perceive your app. Example, fun, clean, ironic, business-like, and then there is a link to check out more examples here. So you can create a mood board that helps everyone to get on the same page in terms of the direction in which you want to take your design. Add elements to your board that represents the tone you're trying to achieve. Thirdly, you can decide on the fundamental elements of your design, like typography. Google Fonts can really help in this area. There is colors, iconography, imagery, the images and fonts and images and icons you want to use in your app. And then there is still there's a link here, where you can find icons. Just a link just beside this point. So fourthly, you can decide whether you want to code your CSS from scratch or you want to use a CSS framework. Any one you want is fine. Vanilla CSS gives you more control. It's much more configurable, but it can be hard, to get the effect you want, because you're going to start coding it from scratch, and then you have to do every single thing by yourself. But using framework, sometimes it's not so configurable, but you're sure of getting, building on top of other people's works, which can really be easy. So finally, if you choose to use a framework, evaluate your options to make sure you pick one that will suit your needs. You can consider the following while evaluating: quality of documentation, ease of integration, built with accessibility in mind, activeness of the community. Then, lastly, there are examples of frameworks you can choose from: Bootstrap, Chakra UI, Material UI, Semantic UI, and Tailwind CSS. Anyone you decide to go with is totally fine. So yeah. Usually, after you create your issues, so you're supposed to meet among yourselves and then decide how you want the 2 weeks to be. But next Sunday, we are also expecting a progress. We'll still have our demo normally. So even if you're not done completely with all of the styling you plan to do, you're expected to show progress. Okay, we plan on doing all of this, but this is what we've done so far. This is how we delegated the duties. This is the framework we are using and all those stuff. Yeah. So that's what we expect next Sunday. We don't expect the full, finished work, because this is a 2 weeks task. So yeah, and then I know we left some things for the end of the project, but I can remember that I think Cluster fixed the protected route, and then someone else fixed the what's that again? Yeah, the ability to manipulate the 24 hours from Firestore. It's now working. So those are the 2 bugs that I remember. Apart from this one, I am already looking at it. I'm logging some things to the console. I'm getting undefined, which is why the regex you're doing is not working. But I am still debugging that. I'm going to do that one, and I'm going to push a fix this night, and then update us on what the problem was. So you can leave that one for me. But is there any other thing that we're leaving for the last week? So I remember I talked about the font colors, right, on your PR cluster. So that one is easily remedied with this styling. You remember, right? Yeah.
Sorry, are you talking about the Oh yes, I remember now, because I think you were using Firefox, and Firefox, our app right now, has dark mode, or if you have dark mode on, you'll see dark mode. So yeah,
I'm actually using Google Chrome, but my laptop, my Mac is on dark mode. So
has
no matter
dark
the
mode.
app, no matter the application I'm on dark mode. So you can just factor that in during your styling, so that whether someone is using dark mode or light mode, they're able to see the text. But aside that, is there any other thing we're leaving for the last week? Can you remember?
Yeah, Krista, go.
I was gonna say, I think you left a note when I was doing the protected routes we can decide later as a team what to do with the home link or the home page.
Yeah. So usually a user is not supposed to, there is no way how we structure that app right now and the features we worked on. So long as a user has a token saved to local storage, they can access the homepage, except if they manually go to delete it. So what I meant by that comment is you can implement a logout, and what your logout will do is just to clear the token and take them back to homepage. That way they are able to use that button, that homepage button. So when they click homepage, you clear the token and then take them back, because so long as they have a token, they can never access the homepage. So during my time, we implemented that, but it was after Collab Lab was over. It was just for our own personal use and for interview, So it's okay if you're not able to do it. Within these 2 weeks, but that's just what I meant by that homepage. It's just basically making it possible for a user to go to the homepage. So, you don't expect everyone to know how to manually go to the network tab, applications tab, and then start clearing their local storage. So for a user that is not technically inclined, they should be able to click a button, log out sort of. So that logging out is just clearing their token. They'll go back. But then again, they might lose their list that they've already created. So yeah, I think you can just leave it at this scope,
No,
just to make it not complicated.
can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what will work is if we just put join or create a new list button. So when you click on that, it clears it, because whatever you have on your list is already in your Firebase, so you can always look at your token. So we won't put logout, we just put join or create a new list. So when you click on that, it takes you to the home page and it clears your local storage. That's what I think.
So when it clears your local storage, it clears your list too.
Yes,
means
but
you're
since
losing
you're
your
joining
list.
a new one, no, you're not. If you put in the
Okay.
token, it's going to pull it up again for you. Since
Yeah.
it's in the
So if you're
database.
joining a new one, it will bring the items attached to that new token you're putting in.
Yeah, but if you're joining an existing list, it's going to just pull it up from the database. So I think what you said will work.
Yeah.
I think the only problem is how they will know their list, like their token. How the user will
and there's that
to enter it again.
So
because they don't
wasn't-
have access to Firebase. It's only for us.
So
The
that
user
means
doesn't.
that
Maybe
we should
maybe
create a case to put their token.
Copy.
Sorry?
I think there was a cohort that implemented the copy functionality. If they click it, they'll be able to copy their token to clipboard and then use it to do whatever. They can paste it elsewhere offline, just so that they can easily access there. So anyhow you want to.
Maybe on the logout before logging out the user, you show them like this is your token, save it somewhere so you can come back or something like that. Just a message that show them.
Or it can just be on the UI permanently, like maybe below the title.
Yes.
It can just be Smart Shopping List. Then you can just somewhere below the title, you can just put your token is, and then before listing the list, anyone works, so that they will know their token, they can copy it, assuming they want to leave the application so they don't lose what they already saved.
So this is to the team to decide. I have another thing. If you who is sharing screen now?
Me.
Okay, if you refresh now, you will see that your list is empty, and that's because see, you will see your shopping list is empty for a second, and that's because we don't have a loading state. Yes. And that's also something you can look at, and you can have icon, you can have just a message, and that's something you can do. You can just.
I think the loading state takes precedence because it's within the scope of the features we decide to do now. But it's still okay if you can accommodate everything. As I said before, after we passed out during my cohort, I and Julia continued working on our app just for learning purpose and then to show, interviewers. So you can choose to do it now, delegate duties among yourselves, or you can choose to do it after. But as far as the scope of what we officially have for you, we've come to the end of the features. Yeah, so do you guys want to tell us how you want to go about it, or do you want to meet before? So I know for loading states and then for the text, so as you can see my screen, the blue text is not really showing. So I think for loading state and this one are, immediate, and in addition to the styling, and then any other functionality you decide to add is totally up to you. That is clear, right? Hello, my voice is breaking.
Oh,
No, you're
you're
all
clear.
right. I guess they are thinking.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
I was just
Or
thinking.
maybe we scared them.
Well, there was a lot going on for sure, and I wasn't sure what to think about first. But I think for sure the colors and the loading state first thing. But I agree with Mita about instead of having a logout button, since we never logged in anyways, is to have like a start new list. And just like Chamaka said, we can put like a permanent on the UI, because we can do something like this is, share this, share this with your friends if you want to join, if you want to join your list or something. So there's a lot of things like that out there I think we can use. I think also I have a question about how, so the four of us are going to get on a call together, and then we're going to decide, how to make this look and everything, but how do we code it? Do we code it in pair programming still, or do we code it on our own? And then also the stories, like how many do we write? One per person, one per pair, one per week, per pair, or per person? Like how does that, I'm not sure how the week is going to look, and what should we have completed by Sunday?
All right. So as far as pair programming goes, it will depend on the people you assigned a particular task. So four of you can come together and be like, midday, you're in charge of researching Tailwind CSS. Cluster, you're in charge of displaying the token for us. And then Victor and Michelle, you're in charge of this other task. So as you can see, Cluster and Midday are working individually, so they are not going to pair program with anybody. But Victor and Michelle are paired on one task, so they get to do it together. That's where they can do pair programming. So if at the end of the day, how you structured your task is individually, you can work individually actually. So there is no need for pair programming. You can just do your stuff and then make a PR and tag the other people to look at what you worked on. And then as far as creating issues is concerned, again, it's not limited to anything you're working on that you're going to write code for it. It should have an issue on GitHub so that it will help somebody that is coming to review your code to know. And as usual, if 3 people worked on it or 2 people worked on it, they get to use the initial. But if it's just one person, you use your own initial when you're making a PR. And then when you're opening your issue, you open it and then assign it to yourself if you're working alone. And then for the scope of what you will do, what you are expected to do by Sunday, I think a good approach would be to just highlight everything you need to do these last 2 weeks, every single thing, highlight all of them, and then divide them. Okay, so we have 7 items for these last 2 weeks. We are going to do the first 4 this week, and then we're going to do the last 3 next week. So that way it's easy. When you're doing your presentation on Sunday, you would be like, okay, we decided to do these 4 items this week, and then these are the results. This is how we went about it. This is the result. So it's easily quantifiable. So as you can see, so far, everything is really in your hands, how you want to go about it. But that's why they said a good planning will really go a long way. So if you plan it really well, the execution shouldn't be hard. And then of course you can ask, and then there's something else. Of course, initially we are going to have the thread, just one thread for all of you, but as you go on, you might need to create more threads to discuss specific topics like CSS styling, or this thread is for this bug that I noticed, this thread is for that other one. So you can create threads on Slack. It also helps us to follow the discussion. So each topic may have a thread, as you see fit. But then again, you're going to have one thread that all of you are going to collaborate on that. So yeah, that's how we approach it. And if there's any other thing, we can always talk about it on Slack. So you have your initial call, highlight everything you need to do, then decide how you will go about it. All right. It's pretty straightforward, but if anything comes up, you can always ping us on Slack and tag us, and then we'll look at it together. Yeah, I think that's it. Any other thing? All right. All right, so I guess that's it. So we'll meet on Slack, and then I can't remember who is doing office hours. Is it you, Reda? Let me quickly check.
No, I just did it the
Who?
last week.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then Aristos will do code review. All right, so I think you guys can let me know when you want, maybe Tuesday and Wednesday, depending on, how far you've gone with your implementation. So I'll just be monitoring things, but latest Wednesday by 5 p.m. GMT, we should have had our meeting. We can come before then. All right, so bye, guys.
Bye.
Yo, bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a good
Yeah.
night.
See you. Have a good night.